Hey everyone, welcome. How are you all doing today?
Good.
Good. Well, I'm glad you're able to take some time out of your busy schedules to participate in this presentation that we have made available to you all, called Healthier Behaviors Are Just a Bend and a Snap Away. If anything, at least you got a few minutes away from your office to come participate. So I know you all are very familiar with theories and working with clients and whatnot. So this is going to really kind of serve as a refresher on particularly the social learning theory. So before I get into that, let me just kind of share with you briefly about myself. Some of you may already know me. My name is Daniel Casillas, and I work at the University of Texas Southwestern Medical Center. I'm a trainer there. I've been a trainer there for 11 years, providing training and capacity building assistance to agencies that are implementing behavioral interventions, and that are implementing behavioral interventions that are also based on theories like social learning theory and the health belief model and the trans-theoretical model, etc. Right? And so today I've been asked to come out and do a presentation for you on the social learning theory. All right? And so we're going to mostly be talking about why do people do what they do. We see it every day, whether it's within ourselves, with our friends, with our clients, with coworkers, and we may often wonder, why did she bring cupcakes to the presentation, right? Why do they insist on texting and driving? Why do they keep putting themselves at risk? Why do our clients keep putting themselves at risk? Even though we keep telling them they should use protection, they should use condoms, they should do this, they should do that. Why is it that they keep doing this? So that's kind of generally what we're wanting to talk about today. Again, as a refresher of the social learning theory, and kind of revisit and think about, how can you again reinforce the social learning theory in the work that you're already doing now, or with clients as is coming up with them as you begin to fill your schedules up for today, the rest of today or the week. If you have a client coming in, how might you then apply social learning theory again, or remind yourself of different ways or techniques to use it with them. Okay. So our objectives for this 20-minute presentation that we have today is that hopefully by the end of the day, by the end of this presentation, you'll be able to describe be able to describe the social learning theory and its 6 concepts, as well as recognize how the 7 concepts are applied to support a new behavior. All right? And so I know I said 6 earlier, but it's actually 7 concepts.
Oh, okay.
Okay. And to get us going, I wanted to go ahead and establish some group rules, some group agreements, so that we can all feel comfortable within the next, for the next while here to be able to feel comfortable sharing and talking. And so I have a list of group agreements here that we have already made up for you guys. So we'll go through them, respect each other's opinions. So I know that even though we kind of know each other or may be aware of each other from previous experiences, we still want to be mindful of other people's opinions, their experiences, their backgrounds, what it is that they're bringing to this presentation, so that everyone feels comfortable, everyone feels like they're being heard. So keep that in mind, be respectful. One person speak at a time. Minimize sidebar conversations. Manage your technology. So again, if you have telephones, cell phones, beepers, pagers, tablets, foot massagers, be sure that you try to manage that. Put it on off, put it on low or vibrate or whatever you need to. Exactly, so that way we make sure that we're not disrupting the other people around you throughout the presentation. Maintain confidentiality is very important. So as we talk a little bit more through this presentation, and we talk about our experiences that we bring or that we may have had with social learning theory or just in behaviors in general, make sure that what we say here stays here, so that people feel confident that it's okay to share some things here that maybe I've never shared with you before, or maybe I have shared with you but not with everybody else. But that it will feel confident that it will stay here in the room. And then we're going to utilize ELMO as well, so that stands for enough, let's move on. So that if we get into a space where we're just kind of piggybacking off what one person said and piggyback off what you said, someone can certainly go ahead and just say ELMO, so that we can then kind of keep moving on. Because we did say we would keep you within 20-25 minutes, and so we want to also keep mindful of the time as well. And then the last thing is to have fun. We're here for 20-25 minutes together. Let's have some fun. enjoy the time. I think there's no better way to learn something or relearn or refresh something than if it's introduced or reviewed in a fun way, in a fun atmosphere. So expect to have some fun and some laughs. All right.
Okay.
So I told you a little bit about myself. Let me hear about you. I know some of you are new faces. So let's get some basic information from you real quick. Your name, the name of the agency that you're with, and then, if you would, briefly share your favorite commercial or infomercial that left you feeling like you just had to pick up the phone and dial the 800 number and call to buy it, or felt like it was something that you felt like you could really do, or you could see yourself doing, that left really kind of spoke to you, whatever it might have been, infomercial, commercial, any kind of way that kind of influenced you or motivated you to take an action or a step or to buy something. Who would like to start off with introductions?
I'll start. Oh. Okay. So I'm Cora Giddens. I am with the Female Health Company, and I've been noticing a commercial that is piquing my interest every time I see it. It's called the Bacon Bowl, and it's just where you buy this bowl. It's an upside down bowl, and you put all these strips of bacon on it, different ways, and you weave a basket, and you bake it, and then you take the bowl of bacon off, and you can put whatever you want into the bowl, and you eat the bacon with the bowl. So my husband loves bacon. I like bacon, not as much as him, but so he is the one that wants me to buy this, wanting me to buy this, and you can get 2 for $19.95, and I think shipping, I'm not sure, $5.95, but I'm really cheap. And I've heard on Pinterest, because I'm a big Pinterest person, that you can make your own bacon bowl by taking a muffin tin and turning it upside down, and you put your bacon on it, and there you would have 12 or 6 mini bacon bowls.
Right.
And you can put mashed potatoes in it, or eggs, or ice cream, or whatever you want bacon on. You can put it in and eat it with it. So
there's enough for each of us to have 2 bowls here.
Yes, yes. Or I actually am thinking about I have a metal bowl that can go in the oven, and it's not as big. It's bigger than a muffin tin. I'm going to try it instead of buying it.
Okay,
cool. Because again, I'm cheap.
Right? You're cheap. And you saw this on a commercial,
yes.
right?
Yes.
You're cheap, but you have some things that are kind of influencing. Your husband really likes bacon and is kind of pushing you to do something
He saw it
this,
first,
right?
and I hadn't seen it. He kept telling me about it.
All right.
And he said, you got to buy it, you got to buy it.
And then you went out and found out some more information through Pinterest.
On Pinterest, yeah.
Good, good. Okay, thank you, Cora. Who would like to go next? Louis, you were here.
My name's Louis Henry. I'm with Rejuvenating Connections. And it was a 10-minute workout. It wasn't my favorite commercial, but it was the end. It was something that was speaking directly to me at that point in time.
Did you end up doing anything with it? Did you buy it?
I bought it and it has not come in the mail. They got me. I normally don't do that kind of stuff because I think it's just fun to make you spend money, and then you'll see it at the thrift store because people get it and don't use it.
Yeah, right.
And you get it for $1. But
find the bacon bowl. You find the bacon bowl, I'll buy it for $1.
Yep.
And so what happened is that I got it because a friend of mine's worked for them as a coach.
Okay, all right, good. You know, the trick is actually to wait for it to show up on those shelves at Walgreens or something. So that if you don't like it, you can return it back and get it refunded.
Oh, that's
You didn't hear it
That's
from me.
another $7.
And no shipping.
Well, my buying report is that I can return it in 60 days.
Oh, all right. Oh, okay, good, good. Who'd like to go next? Thank you.
I'm Tracy Belsley. I'm from the Rural Family Health Network, and the commercial that's impacting me the most right now, speaking of texting and driving, are some very graphic commercials that were done about, you know, what can happen if you're texting and driving, and there's teenagers in a car, and it shows all of, you know, the smashed cars at the end and all that. You always hear about scare tactics not working, and but these commercials have had a lot of impact on people's behavior and reducing. They've actually compared them from states where they're being shown and states that are not, and have shown that they really are making a difference. So, and I think for me, every time I pick up the telephone in the car, I'm thinking about those crashed cars. So it's making a difference.
Right. Thank you everyone for sharing about your infomercial experiences, what sort of not turns you on, but what sort of motivated you or influenced you to maybe consider thinking about buying that product or not. That's basically what we're here to talk about today, is social learning theory. And just like your experiences you spoke about or shared with us, shows the social learning theory is always happening around us, as I mentioned earlier, right? About how people decided to behave or do things. And social learning theory talks about how we may have learned how to do some of those things, like texting and driving. That's something we didn't just wake up one day and say, oh, I think I'm going to go text and drive today. It may have been a learned behavior. It might have been something that we watched someone else do, or we observed other friends in the car doing. We could have been driving with someone or riding with someone that was texting and driving and realized, oh, it is that easy. Not realizing the consequences or the potential for the consequences to happen from that. So what we want to look at then is social learning theory from that point of view, from a client's point of view as well, but we also want to look at it from a healthier point of view. How can we apply the social learning theory to help our clients make better behavior, make risk reductions or improve their health? And looking at the 6 components of social learning theory is what we're going to look at today. What do we already know, just based on our conversations so far, what do we already know about the social learning theory? Or what do you all already know about the social learning theory and what it says about how people learn behaviors?
You learn from others by watching or observing them doing something.
Okay, good. What else?
Reinforces behavior change.
All right, good.
People have to feel like the behavior change is going to be valuable and that is important to them.
Okay, good.
People have to believe that they can. People have to believe that they can actually do it.
Mm-hmm.
That they can perform that behavior.
Okay, good. So you all are very familiar with social learning theory. It's not something new. So again, this is just sort of a refresher for you all to kind of remind you of how you could, again, continue using social learning theory. And just like you all showed, you see it's constantly around. The whole idea of a lunch meeting, it's something that just is also social learning. One person brings in the food, and either we all sit around and wait for someone to break bread first, or someone just gets up and goes and does it, and then what happens? Everyone says, all right, let's go, right? Bread's broken, let's go eat.
We did it today.
Exactly. It took a little bit. People had to feel things out to see who's going to go cut the first slice, and then that happened, and it just... Everyone started eating, right?
Wow.
Exactly.
Thank you, by the way.
It's a social learning theory in action. Whether it's food related, whether it's how you do entertainment things, how you do sports, how you do education, schoolwork. Everything is related to how and what we sense and feel and observe and see, and notice what the rewards are from actually doing that particular behavior. The social learning theory then has 7 components to it. So, as Tracy mentioned, there is the observation. So people learn through observing other people, modeling other people, listening to what other people have to say or share about a particular experience or situation, or even feeling like you belong to that, or that the person or the group or the commercial that you're watching or listening to sort of reflects you in that instance. So in other words, if it's a commercial and it's a woman who's demonstrating how to use the Snuggie, a woman might associate more with that person and say, wow, she's cold, I'm cold, it's warming her up, I could really use something to warm me up right now, so next time I go out to the store, let me look for a Snuggie, right? That's the sort of same thing that we're talking about when we're talking about social learning theory, and that its influences on people are also part of these 7 concepts that have to be utilized in order to convey that new change. For someone to take on a new change, it doesn't just involve watching you do something. There's so many other things that go into it. And so those concepts here, we're going to go through them and talk about them briefly. And then afterwards, I want to show you a video that I want you to watch and kind of look at how these 7 concepts come out in that little video clip and how they're used to help someone actually move towards making a different approach, taking a different approach, a different change. So the first one is information. Information is awareness of risk and knowledge of techniques for coping with the environment or situation. So information is vital. I think someone mentioned it earlier. Information isn't always going to change someone's behavior. It's not always going to be the be-all and end-all in why someone chooses to stop driving and texting or to stop using substances, illicit drugs, or to stop having or engaging in unprotected sex. But it could be that thing that they're missing something. There's some information that they may not have known about their behaviors, that we may not have known about eating 12 cups of bacon, with food, stuff with, other things, right? Or the seatbelt laws, or any other things that we may needed to have known or learned about to help better inform our decisions, to better sort of build our awareness that, hey, this is risky. This is something that I didn't realize quite well, how skipping doses of my medication could actually affect me. Right? I figured, 1 or 2 times, not a big deal, but now it seems like it is a big deal. Right? Or skipping going to see my doctor, or not seeing my doctor, or not getting my lab reports, or not using protection 100% of the time with my sex partners. Could be that little bit of information that someone needs in order to consider or move towards taking healthier behaviors or healthier steps toward risk reduction. Self-efficacy is another concept of the social learning theory. What one person needs is belief in their ability to control one's motivations, their thoughts, their emotions, and specific behaviors. That whole notion is, can I do this? Can I actually put this into action? Do I have the willingness to do it? Do I have the ability to do it? Are the two sort of constructs of self-efficacy. And that goes along with information. So you tell me this, I should use condoms, I should go to my doctor, I should do this, I should do that. But then, do I as a client, or do I as an individual, feel like I have the efficacy to do it? Do I feel like I'm able to do this and control my emotions, my thoughts, and my feelings about this specific behavior? So that's self-efficacy. Am I able to actually put it into action? Can I actually do this? Outcome expectations is another one, and you'll see the next one that comes up is outcome expectancies. They sometimes get tongue twisted, as well as twisted in terms of their definition. But they are unique, they are different, they can also be very related. Outcome expectations are the belief that good things will happen as a result of a new behavior. So if I do this, if I put my seatbelt on, if I put down the phone instead of texting, that could actually have a good result. It could avoid me getting injured in the event of a car accident. It could avoid me missing a traffic light if I'm texting and instead of paying attention to what's in front of me on the road. So that's a good thing. Yes, that would be a good result. But if someone might still be like, well, but I'm willing to take my chances, right? Mm-hmm. So the next thing we want to think about and get clients to think about is outcome expectancies. Not only do you see the result of doing that behavior, that new behavior as being good, it's also important that you see value in it, right? That they actually see that it's important for me to do this. It's not just because I want to do what I want to do, but it's because it's important. What happens, you have to almost sometimes put it into their point of view. How would you feel if you're driving along and someone rear-ended you because they were texting and driving? How would it feel if you were that person who rear-ended someone? So it's not so longer just a good result, but it's important. It's valuable because it's going to save you on your insurance. It's going to save you on medical costs. It's going to save you on all types of things. So there's a value to this new behavior. It's the same thing with your clients. There's value to using protection consistently and correctly with all your sex partners, there's value and importance to taking your HIV medications 100% of the time. And so this is another component. The outcome expectancies and expectations kind of go hand in hand. Sometimes you can have one without the other, and there may be something missing for the client. But you reinforce both of them. And sometimes as providers, we tend to forget that there's two sides to outcomes. Social skills is the next concept. Ability to communicate effectively, to negotiate and resist pressures from other people. What do you think that means in terms of social skills? Give me an example of how social skills might look like if you're in a situation, like infomercials or a client. What might it be like?
What might be that, say for instance, I'm out with some friends and, you know, they are saying that, oh, you know, just have one more drink, it's no big deal, you know, you've only had two, you can have another one. I have to have the ability to communicate with them and to say, you know, I know what my limit is, I'm not going to have another one, you know, I am going to, you know, only stop it, I'm going to stop at 2 and not have 3. If that's what you want to do, that's fine for you, but I have to have the ability to communicate my wishes, you know, and to be able to make those known to someone else.
Mm-hmm. Good. Cora, did you have something to add?
Well, I was going to mention, you know, because I work for the female health company, we promote female condom. So as a woman to not let the man take control and say, well, no, we don't need a condom, I don't want to wear one, so we're fine. And to reinforce that I made a commitment to myself that I was always there was going to be a condom, and that I can wear one, and I'm not going to be talked out of it.
Good. So 2 examples of how communication is vital in this whole scheme of social learning theory, of helping a client or even a friend or someone kind of think about a new behavior. And part of that is learning how to communicate. Whether it is communicating with friends and people who might, you know, impose some pressures on you, or communicating with a partner where the pressures are still there, but it takes on a different approach in terms of now I have to then figure out how do I negotiate with this person, as opposed to having sort of a dialogue with someone or a group of friends, right? Good. So social skills, again, one of the concepts, which leads us to kind of what you both were talking about, and that is the whole idea of having to problem solve. That self-regulating skills gives you the ability to motivate and guide and encourage you or the persons to problem solve. So in this situation, someone could have just gone ahead with whatever my friends wanted to do, that's fine, I'm just going to let it go because it's easier that way. Or I have the skills, or I have the self-efficacy, the willing and the ability to self-regulate myself. How do I problem solve out of the situation? Especially if my friends keep on it, right? And they keep pressuring me, and they keep pushing me. How am I able to then deal with that situation? Do I just give in? Do I find something else to do? Do I communicate differently with them? Or do I just leave? Do I just avoid that whole situation to begin with? So self-regulating. And also in other cases of self-regulating, not just in that instance for communication, but also, let's say my idea is to take my medications 100% of the time. Although this weekend I know I'm going to go out. This weekend I'm booked, I'm planned, I've got everything going on. There's absolutely no way that it's going to be easy for me to remember to take my pill every day. So how do I self-regulate that situation, that occurrence? Now knowing that something's about to happen, how do I make sure that I'm prepared and planned and ready to be able to take my medication regardless of what's planned and booked for the whole weekend? Or someone who didn't intend to go have drinks and ends up having a few more drinks than they intended to, then realizing this might make it more difficult for me to use protection or to talk to my partner about using protection, right? Mm-hmm. So then how do I then provide the skills to my client or to myself or to my friends to problem solve through the situations? Okay? So self-regulating skills is also another very important concept. And then the reinforcement value. And I think Cora brought that up really nicely at the beginning, talking about that this is important, this is valuable. And in fact, Ventura talks about not only about observations and watching and learning from other people, but that there's a lot of value in getting yourself or your friends or your clients to reward themselves, to find pride in their accomplishments, whatever, however small, medium, or large the accomplishment is, that they're able to pat themselves on the back, as well as receive reinforcement from friends and social networks and whatnot. That's awesome, that's great. But more importantly, making sure that I am able to pat myself on the back when I need to, because you all may not always be there around whenever I go up 5 flights of stairs, and I get out the door and I'm like, where's everyone?
Where's the
Where's the balloons? Where's everything?
Right.
Right? And so
Where's
that
the
could be,
cheerleaders?
so if that happened, if I'm expecting that, then what might that do for me if it's not there?
You may not do the behavior again.
Right. What was the point? So it's a skill that is sometimes difficult for clients and for a lot of people in generally to feel like I can reward myself. I don't always need everyone else to do it for me. I can learn to do that for myself too. What questions do you have about the 7 concepts that we just reviewed? You guys had pretty well. I mean, you had the information, you had the reinforcement really well. So let's take a look at a video now, and let's have a little fun here. And watch this video clip from Legally Blonde that I want you to take a look at. And it's the bend and snap clip from the movie. So if you've seen it, you know it's Paulette and the whole salon situation. And as you watch it, what I would like for you to do is watch for the 7 concepts within the video clip. Watch and listen for where and how you hear information being shared, the expectancies and expectations being shared, the reinforcement happening, any of the different concepts in there, look for that. And then when we're done with the video, we'll kind of quickly go through and see where you saw that all happening here. All right? Sound good?
Yeah.
All right.
I'm the only one that believes her. Kellyanne totally thinks she's guilty.
Yeah, that's because we're in a big fat retard.
Afternoon, ladies. Paulette Bonafante.
My God.
I've got a package.
He's got a package.
How you doing today?
Hi.
Take it easy. See you later.
That's great, Paulette. Is this the only interaction you two have ever had?
No. Sometimes I say okay instead of fine.
Well, why don't you offer him a cold beverage or a neck massage or something?
Oh, come on, what's the point?
Trust me, Paulette, you have all the equipment. You just need to read the manual. Do you know what I'm saying? Okay, I'm going to show you a little maneuver that my mother taught me in junior high. In my experience, it has a 98% success rate of getting a man's attention and, when used appropriately, it has an 83% rate of return on identification.
Wow.
It's called the bend and snap. Watch this. I think I dropped something on the floor that I need to pick up. So you bend and snap. See? Come on, you try it. Bend and snap. Okay. Yeah. A little less bend, a little more snap. Like this? Good snap. You. Come on. You can do it. Bend and snap. Good job. A little attitude, please. Now
Perfect. Let me just bring this back up real quick. All right, so tell me, where did you see, or how did you see the components in that clip? Information, self-efficacy, outcome expectancies, expectations, self-regulating skills. Where did you see that happening, and how did you hear it?
Well, she gave me some information on where it came from. So she said something about, her mom taught her that when she was in junior high school. So it kind of gives it some background information on it.
She even said you just have to read the manual. It's kind of like even if you were giving, like, here's the information, here's the manual.
Exactly.
Right? Is it in a PDF or is it available online?
And she gave statistics, 96% notice by van and 80% chance of a dinner date, if done correctly.
So what would that be an example of?
Outcome expectancies?
Expectancies or expectations?
Expectations.
Expectations. So this is like a result, right?
Right.
So expectations are, again, remember, it's the result of the new behavior. This is what could happen. This is a good thing that could happen. Expectancies are about what?
That something good will happen.
Expectancies are about
What you
that I find
expected.
value and that I found important and valuable, right?
Those two are.
They are. It is.
Yeah.
They are. They can get, clouded a little
Cloud,
bit.
yeah.
But even in the video, though, you don't really see a lot of the expectancies. What you kind of presume is that because she's going along with it, and she's like the guy, the UPS guy, that she probably is finding that there's going to be, because she's wanting to talk to this guy, she wants to get closer and know him better. So she's probably assuming that there's some value to taking on this new thing. What about self-efficacy? How do we see self-efficacy in there?
Well, she practiced. At first she wasn't really comfortable with it, wasn't comfortable kind of in her own skin, her doing it. And through practice and observation of others, she gained the skills and the confidence in order to do that.
Okay, good. Excellent. Great. And what about the reinforcement value? Because she was learning these new skills, she got the confidence. So how do you see that reinforcement, right? And we talked about it earlier, but then how do we see
Reese Witherspoon was constant. You've got it. You
got
can do it. Good. She
Right.
was constant affirmation of these wonderful feedback skills. And then the guy comes in at the end and says, the snap and bend, it works every time.
Right?
Yes.
Yes. And what about, because she could almost be like, as if she were the counselor, if you think about it, trying to teach her friend, which we're trying to do is kind of share with our clients these new approaches. If you look at Reese as you all, as the counselor, right? And she's bringing in different people. Even the group that was there, of all different types of women, right? All different races, ethnicity, ages, some with curlers, some older. We're all
One lady
engaged
was
in it.
pregnant.
Oh, was there?
Yeah,
Was there? I
one
didn't
lady
know
was
this.
old.
And so it kind of reinforces it. Even if Paulette, she could see, if they're able to do this, I should be able to do it. And all types of women, right?
Yeah.
Even if you're just watching the movie and you're needing to figure out how to cozy up to someone, I should be able to. So, some woman in that clip should resonate with me and say, "Wow, if that one could do it." There were even guys in the clip that were
Yes.
doing it too.
Yeah.
So
Which I thought was funny.
let's see. Did we get them all? What else did we need in there? We got outcome expectations, we got self-efficacy, we've got, what about self-regulating? Did we get self-regulating?
Oh.
Have we seen
I'm not
self-regulating?
sure.
I think that, I think the self-regulating, because she didn't really know how to do it at first. She wasn't really comfortable with it. And she could have walked away and she could have just said, it's worthless, I'm never going to be able to do that. But I think that the self-regulating comes in, that she motivated herself. That was part of it. She got the outside reinforcement as well, but there's something that has to happen inside of you that says, I'm going to continue doing this. And that's what she did. So.
Good, right. That's a very good recognizing that in the video clip, because you can even apply that even to, for some of us who have attempted to just walk a mile or to go to the gym. You see the same sort of reinforcement there, the same self-regulating thing. You could go to the gym and just say, this hurts too much, I can't do this, I don't want to do this is dumb, and just decide to pay $35 a monthly fee and never come back again.
Yeah.
And keep paying it and never go back, because you don't want to go back and see the gym people. Because they're going to hound you, right? So that's the self-regulating. You know, you have to motivate yourself. That's that motivation part, which is all part of all the components. They don't operate individually. There's not one that, you know, that's the answer for everything.
Mhm.
Everything has to be happening in sort of the synergy of all the concepts of social learning theory in order to really be effective in helping your clients and individuals with making changes, any kind of change, regardless, even if it is buying a bacon bowl. Great. So I'm glad you guys enjoyed that. That kind of brings us to the end already now. What questions do you have about any of the concepts or the social learning theory that we talked about today? All right, excellent. So I want to thank you all for coming and participating and being engaged. That was really great. I'm really thankful for you for doing that. And you know, before you leave, if you don't mind, please fill out an evaluation so I can figure out, you know, how we can continue providing this service to you and improving it along the way too. So if there are any questions, then we'll see you again next week for the next presentation on health belief model.
And thank you for making it very comfortable.
Good. You're welcome. Thank you.